Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Language Talks. I'm in conversation today with a French language expert from Pune. She is Zainab Chinikamwala. She is an experienced accessibility and inclusion advocate with a strong professional foundation in translation and leadership management. She currently serves as the membership head of Bookshare, Asia and Africa region, which is the world's largest accessible online library for individuals with print disabilities. As a translator of and teacher of French, she specializes in making content accessible for broader audiences, and she is actively involved in community programs that support education and inclusion for people with visual impairments. Let us talk to her and know about her journey. Hello, Zainab.
Hi, Lalita.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Zainab, I would like to start by asking you how your journey started with the French language. Can you tell us about it?
Yes. So, what happened is I went to an inclusive school, which is most of the people staying in Pune would know. It is, and people, of course, would know St. Anne's High School, which is a
Right.
convent school. I went there and
Mm-hmm.
I was there from class three because before that I was in Abu Dhabi with my parents. And then when I came back, I was in class 3 and I started, but Hindi and Marathi was going really challenging for my parents. I mean, especially my mother, because generally in most of the houses, the mothers are responsible for the education of the children, and taking up their
Right.
studies. So,
Right.
I mean, I was facing horrifying problems with both the languages, not because I didn't like the language, but I just couldn't understand how things were going and all. So in the class 8, I don't know if everybody knows, previously we used to have an option of taking second language. Like Hindi would be compulsory and the
Uh,
state language was optional. So I got
right.
French. So I was really
Mm.
happy. I said, oh, one less subject. And that is how my interest developed. And at that time, I just took it so that I don't fail, and do badly in that subject and I get a beating from my mother. So that is why I took that. But then I developed
Oh.
so much interest in it that
Mm.
finally I just felt, wow, this is lovely. I would like to make my career in that.
Oh, this is an amazing start, isn't it?
Yes. Very unusual though.
Very unusual, but still. And from there, you have been teaching French for almost 3 decades now. So, how did your approach evolve during these years?
Uh, I mean, initially, what happened is I finished my 10th and then I had to go to college. And when you go to college, you need little extra money from your pocket money.
Right.
So, I had one of my neighbor. So she said, "Can you teach me French?" I said, "Yeah." Then she started paying, and then I started teaching. First, I had only one student, then I had more, but practically like everybody was from the vicinity type. I didn't have
Okay.
many people at that time because people would not trust my ability to teach because of my disability. And then that's how my journey began. And then a
Mm.
day came when I was teaching 200 students a day.
Oh, that is fantastic. So inspiring.
Thank you.
While teaching any language, especially French, where the characters and pronunciations are really different, so how do you manage to teach accent to your students, which is a
So,
challenge? Sure.
yes. So, actually, being a person with vision impairment, I would not write on the board, or I didn't have a board in the class. So, what I used to do is, I used to tell
Mm.
my students, see, I will repeat whatever I'm telling you once or twice, because the third time the words might change. So, you have no
Okay.
option but to pay attention to what I say. So, in
Right.
that way, I could maintain discipline also. Then,
Uh-huh.
secondly, I would tell them to read because as I couldn't read the book, but I knew the
Hmm.
text by heart. I knew what, I mean, I had already known what is in the text. I used to do my
Okay.
homework before that, but I would expect
Hmm.
them to read. So when they were
Correct.
reading, the option was nothing but to pay attention. And then showing the accents, I would show them with the movement of my hands. Like this
Hmm.
way is ague, this is grave, this is
Hmm.
circumflex, and then ulta C. I mean, that's how I used to show it to them. And then while
Hmm.
reading, they would definitely get the pronunciation, though not exact,
Okay.
because as you know, college students are not very serious because they do not
Hmm.
have orals.
In addition to teaching, you have been translating for pharmaceutical companies also as a technical translator, right?
Correct.
So, how did you manage to maintain accuracy and how was the experience?
Like in the year 2000, uh,
Mhm.
somebody gave me an offer. So, I mean, I didn't know much of computer, but I said, no, I have to take this leap. And so, I
Okay.
mean, I started translating manually, word by word. I said finished. I don't think I'll be able to ever finish and meet any deadlines. But then somebody showed me that there are tools on the internet where you will not be needing to translate word by
Hmm.
word like this. You, for
Ah.
technical terms, you can look into the dictionary online. You need not
Hmm.
search the dictionary hard copy because there again I had a problem because I had to ask someone then, and then all the words are not there in the dictionaries that we have, you know.
Correct.
So I started learning day by day. Each day was a learning step for me. Like, I had to today I had learned, oh, this dictionary is better. Then somebody told me, no, no, you can try this dictionary. Then I would do a Google search, which is a better dictionary. And in my case, it had to even be an accessible dictionary so that I could use it, with my screen reader. As people
Right.
with vision impairment use screen readers. So it
Hmm.
had to be accessible with that. So then I started finding that. And then I somehow achieved good command, good accuracy. I wouldn't say complete accuracy because nothing is completely accurate in a language.
You're right. Yes.
So I achieved that, but the company still didn't know that I am a person with vision impairment, and I don't think they still know. And it really doesn't matter to me whether they know or don't know because they are concerned with their work, which is done on time.
Correct. And that is what matters, I think.
Exactly.
Now you're working closely with Bookshare in California and you're
Correct.
supporting readers across Asia and Africa. So how
Correct.
has that shaped right? So how has that shaped your understanding of global accessibility?
uh, what used to happen is that for me, reading was a problem. Like, I can't read. So, what used to happen, I could not read much of French books that I would like to read and, increase my knowledge because the books were so high because I have reached a level where French language for me is become like my mother tongue now. So,
Correct.
and nobody had that much of affluency. My
Hmm.
sister learned, my friends, they knew little bit, and my own
Hmm.
students would read to me. But that affluency was not there. So when
Okay.
I came to know about Bookshare, I knew that there were accessible books. So now, like in Bookshare, there are 21,000 accessible French books. So, which I like
Amazing.
to read and increase my purview of the language, my knowledge. So that has really shaped my knowledge of the language. There are certain things which you learn when you yourself read it, your spelling,
Hmm.
you're seeing. Instead of telling someone else, they'll tell you. It's not that they don't tell, but sometimes you would want the exact pronunciation, sometimes you would want it to be read this way or that way. So for me, it's opened another door of knowledge.
This Bookshare is really a great concept, and I'm sure so many people
Yes.
must have benefited from it.
Of course, because they people who can't read have to depend on people to read. So if I tell
Right.
you to read, what will happen?
Hmm.
You'll read something twice. The I
Hmm.
Out of shame, even I won't be able to tell you, Lalita, can you please read this again for me? I'm, some things I may understand better, some things I may not understand better. So,
Correct.
when I read it myself, I can read it 30 times, 40 times because that's an e-text. When it is an
Hmm.
e-text, I can read it on my phone, on my computer. So it eases my reading.
With Bookshare, you get that flexibility. Hmm.
Sure,
Of reading at
sure,
your pace. Yeah, right.
correct.
Understand.
I read it how, when, where, why,
Correct.
and what.
Right. You also collaborate with Google on Android accessibility. So, what
Yes.
improvements have you been most excited about?
So, like initially when we collaborated, it was in 2013. Okay. So that time
Okay.
Android had just started. And
Hmm.
when it had just started, it was in the raw form. So like even they didn't know what is accessibility, what they should be doing, where the problem was. So we had met two people from Germany and India who came
Okay.
down and
Hmm.
who asked us to help them. So, like, I was super excited because I was, you know, everybody had started using that touch phone, and I was feeling, oh shit,
Right.
when will I be able to use it? When will I be able to use the touch phone? So,
Hmm.
then this Google thing came up, and I was like super excited because I want to do everything on my own. My goal is to depend least on anybody, only
Right.
in circumstances where you're absolutely helpless, like to drive a car. Now, I can't drive a car unless Tesla comes in India. So, I mean, that is one thing. And so I see it develop one step by step. Like we started the process and then Google took it up on its own and then they started developing. So now I don't need to depend on anybody for most of the things from recognizing
Okay.
currency to,
Hmm.
labels in the kitchen, everything I get the help of from technology. It's like
Okay.
technology has been my eyes.
Oh, that is so profound. I mean, all the barriers that you must have faced or encountered over the years, you have, kind of removed
Yes,
them with the help of technology,
most
isn't it?
of it. Most of
Most of
it.
it.
Most of
Yeah.
it.
You have received several prestigious awards over the years. Which recognition feels the most meaningful to you and why?
Uh, Basically, when you're appreciated for anything, big or small, an appreciation is an appreciation. So, all
Correct.
the awards that people see, I'm not a person who wants awards. I just want people to learn from what I have done and use that so that tomorrow, if they
Mhm.
face the same problems, they have solutions. I I want to as I came empty-handed, I want to go empty-handed, leaving people to learn whatever I have learned, giving
Hmm.
back and going. So an award
Correct.
is just key to tell them that I have achieved something. Please come and learn it from me.
Oh, that is such a nice thought. How do these worlds complement each other? What do you think?
See, when you teach, you're your own manager because I taught privately. When again you're
Right.
translating, you're your own manager because I have worked freelancing. And
Yes.
yes, now working under for someone is again a different experience and I like
Correct.
it because it's a different goal. Now the goals are set. You have to work to achieve those goals. There you
Correct.
were setting the goals for yourself and here they're already set. Now is a challenge that how soon and how well you can achieve those goals.
Correct. That is always a struggle going on in our mind, right?
Correct. I feel all three are teaching
Mhm.
something different. All the three
Mhm.
roles, you are a manager, but the situations are different in all three places.
Correct. It keeps changing,
Yes.
right? Having been in the French language field for all these years, which other languages did you feel attracted to, or did you want to learn?
I definitely wanted to learn another foreign language. And, but somehow time just didn't give me any support because I mean, once you start getting into things deeper and deeper, you just can't find time. Actually, you can find time, but
Mhm.
it's just that you have an excuse. But I was very fascinated by learning Arabic. I started learning it. I just did the elementary course and stopped because I never got the time to study. And I used to get a firing from the teacher that you're not studying, you're only working. So, because the same firing which I used to give my students, I used to get it back. So, I said, okay, this is not the right time maybe to learn. But yes, I was very fascinated by Arabic language, but that too Egyptian Arabic, because in Arabic world also there are different types of Arabics, and each Arabic is slightly different. So I was very fascinated to learn Egyptian Arabic. There's not much of a difference, but whatever the little is there.
Okay. So, according to you, what role do languages play in building inclusive and accessible communities?
Um, See, if I have to build up a contact with a person, see, French is very widely spoken across the globe also. So what happens is when I want to approach somebody in a country where French is the language and they don't know much about accessibility and inclusivity, equity and all. So for
Mhm.
me, it becomes easier to communicate. Like in a place like Burkina Faso, you know that's where people didn't know
Mhm.
much about Bookshare, so I connected with them. Now Bookshare is doing well with them because they're getting all the reading material, study material. So
Mhm.
if I had not known French, it would have been a little difficult task for them to approach, you know
Right.
And
Correct.
sometimes what happens, you're more comfortably explaining in your own language than in any other language that you know. Because
Mhm.
sometimes you may not get the right choice of words.
That is also true. Mhm. Yes, it takes time to express, to gather
Correct.
words and yeah,
Yes. And
articulate.
you may not be
Yes.
able to give the right context and sentences.
Mhm. That's true. That's great. It's lovely to know about your journey, Zainab. And
Thank you.
it is, I'm sure it will inspire a lot of people to, help the society and also to help oneself to learn a language or teach a language or translate everything.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining on my show and talking to us about your journey. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, Lalita. Lovely to be here also. It's an amazing experience.
Thank you everyone for joining me in conversation with Zainab. See you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.